First things first. Shadow came in with some Jordan 12s on and whooped anybody who was wearing a primary color. Stay tuned as we discuss Sonic 3. Alright, welcome to another episode of Haire here. Special movie Monday. We are discussing Sonic 3 Hedgehog. Sonic 3 Hedgehog. I don't know what animal, an echidna? I think that's what Knuckles is, but the polo boots, like the shoe game was not giving. Like, we got Knuckles in polo boots. We have, I want to say they look like Sauconys maybe for Sonic. And then Tails, I want to say Tails is wearing K-Swiss. I don't know, but we're going to be discussing that today. And then we will also be discussing the future of the Sonic Sonic universe. Okay, so first things first. Once again, we need to start doing recaps, okay? We need to start doing recaps because whenever I watch a movie and they're just like, and then this happened and then that happened, I was just like, I don't remember anything. I'm not gonna hold you up there. They go. I'm not gonna hold you. There was no room in my hair for them. That's why I put them on my deck, but whatever. Okay, so let's go into the review. So the beginning of the movie starts off with, Sonic celebrating his birthday, basically his first day coming to Earth with James Marsden and Tika Sumpter. I'm just using their government names. Y'all know that I don't remember their characters' names on the thing, but anyway, so they're celebrating their birthday, and so it pans out over to Shadow. Shadow is a hedgehog that they made scientifically, or not scientifically. He is a hedgehog that they scientifically worked on. He still came in a meteorite, like same thing with Sonic being sent here. He was actually sent via meteorite 50 years prior. So the thing that sends me about this is just that he's going off, he's fighting people left and right, and then the general that was there to basically help him with that was there during the experiment was just like, oh, where you found love, Sonic, he didn't have anybody. I was like, because you're experimenting on him, not you gaslighting. I was like, wait a minute, how you gonna sit here and gaslight Shadow's story? This doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you talking about? Talking about, yeah, where you found love, he had a bad experience because the only friend he had was the granddaughter of the scientist. I was like, because you instead of sending him on his way or finding a way to send him back on the meteorite that he came in, or building him a space shuttle, you decided to experiment on him so you can use his energy. Anyways, as I digress, so we introduced Shadow, which has one of the best villain entrances ever. He's got his Jordan 12 special Sonic edition with the gold ring on the top. He comes in, and so like he wakes up and he just starts going off, has a whole temper tantrum, and then he's like causing chaos. And so they pretty much, Jessica Jones comes and sends him. She comes and says, hey, primary colors, come help me so I can deal with this other hedgehog. So they come find him, and then like they get introduced. They have a kind of a little bit of a funny square off where Sonic's like, I'll be asking the questions around here. Who are you? Like I was like, oh my goodness. But I keep forgetting this is also a kid show. I was like, why are we repeating ourselves? Anyways, but so they start talking back and forth, and they start fighting. It's on side. Of course, Knuckles, played by Idris Elba. He's like, oh my God, I'm Knuckles, and I'm gonna fight everyone. My brain is my muscle, 100 pounds of muscle, and then he gets tossed like a little rag doll, right? So afterwards, they meet up with the general that was there, that survived it, because what ends up happening is that turns out, come to find out, thank you, Cleopatra, come to find out, they have Eggman's grandfather, his granddaughter, so essentially his sister, right? His elder sister. She ends up befriending Shadow when they take him. They have a whole nice little friendly montage, blah, blah. And so what ends up happening is that they want to take him for, more scientific study or whatever, blah, blah. So they end up just exploding everything. And unfortunately, the granddaughter ends up not being on this plane anymore. And basically afterwards, what happens is that, Shadow's just like, oh my God, no. And then they end up putting him in stasis because he's too dangerous. This is what they said, too dangerous to keep alive, but also too useful to de-life. I was like, oh my god, it's like real. This is a cartoon. Like, anyways, but after that, basically they go on an adventure and they try to find him, and they try to find him, and they try to go. Where are they trying to go? Like, they basically try to go on an event. They go on an adventure of trying to find him. They keep beating them forehand because apparently there's this ray that Eggman, Jim Carrey pretty much have like he's like, oh, you're my grandfather, like they start going towards where they're trying to get this ray that would use the chaos energy from Shadow, and they would just use it to rule the world. That's what Eggman thinks. But Eggman's grandfather, he's like, actually, I want to destroy the world because without her, there's nothing, which is a bit dramatic. So he said it's going to take us out as well. So basically, it's a de-lifing mission, pretty much, where there's no winners in it, except the fact that he gets justice for his granddaughter that isn't here anymore. So have a whole montage of like stealing the trying to get the chaos, and then the Chaos Emerald basically makes them go Super Saiyan. And that's being guarded by a hockey player that we don't know because I didn't watch the series. I talk about that later on. I didn't watch the series because there's a series with Knuckles. Knuckles Rebuck is the theme song to the series. So he's guarding Chaos Emerald, and then Sonic's just like, okay, I'm going to take this, even though I didn't want to because he's hurting, because apparently James Marsden gets hit in the stomach by a shadow because he feels like he thought he was the main guy who hurt him, but he was using phase transformation technology to change his appearance. So that's what ended up happening with that. And then so now Sonic goes to give him an intergalactic whooping. Okay, like, do you know how mad you have to be to intergalactically whoop somebody's butt? So basically, like, Sonic, once he goes to Super Saiyan, he goes to Super Saiyan mustard. He goes Super Saiyan, and he goes to the space shuttle where the ray is on top of the Earth. He goes to the space shuttle and like he grabs Shadow by the throat. He grabs him by the armadillo? Hedgehog. He grabs the hedgehog by his throat. He grabs him and he beats him up. And I was like, wait a minute, not you going to space to whoop somebody's butt. Do you know how much hate you have to do? Like, you just burn through the atmosphere, child, whatever. And so he grabs him. So like he's on the moon, giving him I don't know, a lunar whooping. And so he's just beating him up. And I was like, and then he's just like, do it. And the Shadow's like, do it. And then he's like, no, he has a flashback of James Marsden basically saying, hey, you could have let that hate, you could have let that anger take over you, but you didn't. And then he remembers that he's a good person. And so this time with the Emerald, he lets Shadow go Super Saiyan 1 as well. And so they both go and try to save the Earth. And because the nuclear energy, quantum, the nuclear energy that Shadow was able to generate by going around in a circle. Okay, he was able to generate it, and so they basically get all that energy, and so that energy is being used as a ray. So now Jim Carrey has a blank check to do whatever he wants. I feel like in this scene, I really feel like, so there's a scene where Eggman versus Eggman where he's fighting, and like one's a praying mantis, one is a scorpion. I was just like, I feel like they said, Jim Carrey, since you generated so much revenue in the first movie, we're gonna let you do what you want. It's just so Jim Carrey coded, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I was like, this is so Jim Carrey coded. I was like, what am I looking at? Oh my God, it's so Jim Carrey coded. Anyway, so they're going back and forth, they're fighting, blah, blah. And so Grandpa Eggman ends up winning, but then Tails has one of his rings which acts as a transport portal, and he does it to where like he's able to save him. And then they come up, and then Knuckles comes up, and then he punches Grandpa Eggman, and then he pretty much is de-lifed instantly when they put him into the nuclear fission, the circle that's still going towards the Earth. So what they end up doing is that they end up using their biggest might to push up all our friends. They use it, and they end up pushing the ray away from Earth, but also slicing the moon in half, which would drown the Earth because the ocean is pulled by the moon. So if the moon is only half the moon, we would have a tsunami by 2 p.m. So they save the day, and then there's a post-credit scene where they show Sonic's playing some game, whatever, hide and seek, running some running game to show how fast he is, and then Amy pops up, which is Amy's one of his girlfriend from the show. So that's pretty much the synopsis. Review. I give the movie a 4 out of 5. Like, we're gonna go into the cons first, and we'll go into the pros, but I give it a 4 out of 5. So the first con is the plot holes. Like, so when they were introducing Eggman Grandpa, like, I was like, I'm sorry, but I've been playing this game since 1997. Don't do the math too fast. I've been playing Sonic since 1997. I never remember there being an origin story of Eggman, who was just always this fat, egg-shaped man, egg built. Can you imagine somebody said, you built like an egg? Like, that's really rude, right? That's really rude. Anyways, but yeah, I don't remember that ever being in the game. So I know they're trying to do it because it's a movie, but I really feel like it was unnecessary if they're not going to provide everything. Because my next question would be, who was Eggman's father? Because that's Eggman's grandpa. And then if the granddaughter, which would be Eggman's sister, is not here anymore, where was Eggman? Where was he at? Like, where was Jim Carrey at? Like, that was really confusing. That was really confusing. I don't know what I was watching. Like, at one point, like, that plot holes with Eggman was throwing me off. And then he said, Grandpa, but how? I was just like, sir, we have a question, but how with you? Because at one point, I thought, maybe I was watching the movie wrong. It could be user error, y'all. But at one point, I thought that Eggman, Grandpa had cloned himself, and that's how we got our version of Eggman. So I don't know, that was really confusing. There's a couple of references to the series that I have not watched, which, like I said, once again, that could be user error. That's a con for me, because I feel like I should be able to watch a movie and not have to have watched the series, you know? Like, you can reference it here and there, but like, I feel like it was very crucial to see who was guarding the Chaos Emerald, and I didn't know who it was. That's someone, the one guy who was playing hockey. He's not a hockey player, but like, when he popped up, I was kind of like, but we don't know you. Like, I was really confused. Like, but we don't know you. We really don't. We don't know you. That was really confusing. And then timing wise, is there a particular reason why I released Sonic not in the summer? Like, this would have been a perfect blockbuster. This should have been, cause I believe the Knuckles series got released this year. It would have made sense to just release the Knuckles series in May and then premiere the movie in June. It is now December, and right now at the box office, from what I've seen from when I record this video, Sonic is ahead of Mufasa by a lot. And there's a Mufasa origin story. I'm trying to see if I want to see it or not in theaters or not, so stand by on that. But it's exceeding it a lot, so you know, maybe I'm wrong, but me personally, I feel like this should have been released during the summer. I feel like it's Christmas, New Year time, like people aren't going to go see a nerd movie, but besides us nerds. But I was a little bit confused on that, a little bit confused by that, by the fact that I don't know, it's just weird time for them to be released. Also had so there was a part in the movie where Tika Sumpter and James Marsden had like a face changing thing where he changed into, is it Boris? It's not Boris Kojo. That's Nicole Ari Parker's husband. See, I know these people's name. It's like at the tip of my tongue. I can't think of his name, but and then the other girl changed to the she's from Insecure. I can't think of either of their names, and I'm not gonna go back and edit it. Yeah, the viewership has been low to where if y'all do it, I'm gonna give y'all low view, low effort. I'm not gonna go look it up, but he's in that movie, and like that was like a pointless scene. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to see more black people in nerd movies, but like it was very confusing why he was in the movie. Like it was very confusing about, and then why she was in the movie. She's like, oh, I'm trying to be like my sister. It was just, I don't know, that's my con part of it, because I didn't see the point of it. Another con to me was there are certain parts that kind of drags a little bit longer, like the whole scene, like I said, Jim Carrey, he got paid a bag, but the whole scene with Jim Carrey, Eggman and Eggman, there's some scenes where I was like, skip! Like in my head, I was like, skip, because it was like bringing down like the pace of the story. It's not that it was bad, it was just like, if you want to do like an Eggman like origin story, we can do that, but this is called Sonic 3, baby. Sonic is being carried, and we need to focus on him. I like the fact that they had references to the other movies, but I can say one con was the fact that I feel like this movie was a standalone movie, and I feel like it was in syndication with other ones. Okay, so pros. Let's go into the pros. I have Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves, Tika Sumpter, Idris Elba. These are all pros. These are all pros. Like, love to see these actors I grew up with pretty much. Still, get in the bag. I felt it was fun. Like, there was times where I literally laughed out loud. Like, when he came in with the Jordans, I was cracking up in the corner. Like, I thought they were gonna throw me out because I was dying. I was like, now I'm coming in with the Jordan 12s, running away from 12. Like, now he coming in with the Jordan 12s, but you running away from 12. That's a bar. Write that down. No Mars. Oh, I'll stop. I'll just be an accountant. That's fine. But I did like the fact that like there's a lot of laugh out loud moments. It was actually funny. Like, I know it sounds weird, but like a lot of these movies, like you can tell like there's no control groups anymore. They just be like, well, we put money into this. If you don't watch it, you don't watch it. I was like, then we won't, because that's what ends up happening is that people don't watch the movies, and then y'all mad that y'all spent all this money and now you look crazy. Okay. Now you look crazy now, and now you mad about it. But what else was I was gonna say? Yeah, there's a lot. What other pros do I have? I like the fact that this is gonna sound weird, but the detail on the hedgehogs and the echidna, I feel like I'm saying it wrong, and the fox, the fox has tails. The details was crazy. I can see when they were breathing. Like, I literally at one point I saw. And I saw the nose too. I saw their nose going in, and I was like whoever is the digital creator manager, because I know there's like a whole crew of like animators, but y'all did y'all thing. Talk about attention to detail. Like, I could literally see when they're breathing, and the fur on the hedgehogs actually looked like fur. Like, it looked like you could grab it. Like, it literally looked like fur. Like, just the attention to detail. Like, Shadow looked like exactly how I want him to look like. Amy looks good as well. Like, I'm truly excited to see like a Sonic 4, and I think there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna be very surprised by how like emotional you'll get with Shadow. Like, with Shadow, like the part that I liked the most with Shadow, because Shadow started connecting with Grandpa Eggman's granddaughter, which is Eggman's sister, hard. But he started connecting with her because while he was in captivity, like, she would play with him and like show him the moons, the stars, like all that. And I just like that, like, that whole relationship was so beautiful. Because like, as me, like I've told you guys before, like, yes, you guys think I'm cool now. Some of y'all don't. Y'all be hating in the comments, and I be liking the comment. But I wasn't someone who fit in. Like, I've been like, it's cool to be 5'10", slim and have natural hair now in 2024, but back in 2004, 2003, like, it was a hard time. Like, I can say it was a hard time in middle school. Like, to be 5'10" in 6th grade, people think you're weird, people think you failed, people think something's wrong with you, you're slow, you're dumb. Like, it was like, I know what it feels like to be an outsider. So like, that part when like he felt like, he has no reasoning for anybody else because no one else saw him as anything other than an experiment that came from a meteorite or a cash grab, or, someone who's going to help them with nuclear fission, or basically someone who's just there to, use him for something. So I know what it feels like to be an outsider. So whenever I see movies like that, I was like, please stop. That's why during Wicked, when there was like a scene with Elphaba and Galinda, when she was like dancing by herself, I was like, I'm used to dancing by myself, if that makes any sense. So it was really, really cool to see that. I feel like they stayed true to the comic. What else? I like that they stayed true to the comic, like especially between the fact that, like, how Knuckles was when they first saw him, got introduced, and second, like, and Tails and Sonic's relationship. Like, honestly, Tails and Sonic relationship, like, name a better duo. Like, name a better duo. Like, their relationship to this day is like iconic. Like, your friends, you think you have friendship, you don't know friendship between Sonic and Tails. Keep it a buck. But yeah, I can definitely say, like, it was really nice to see them stay true to the cartoon. They even try to, involve the humans, as the little golden retriever said. Like, that was pretty dope that they try to incorporate Tika and James into the movie more, because usually in the series, like, no one's talking to humans in the series. So I think that was pretty dope. Overall, 4 out of 5, I stick by it. My final thing is that the future for 2026. Oops, not me skipping a year. For 2025, I would say I want to see more of our classic video games put into movies, but be careful, because Borderlands, look, not only did y'all not even, like, no one watched the movie and no one watched my review. Like, do you know how much of a trash movie you gotta have that, like, no one even wants to watch somebody reviewing it? That means it was trash. Like, Borderlands, I can't not roll that R, baby. But, like, Borderlands was crazy. Borderlands was crazy. It wasn't good. It touched nothing. It was nowhere near close. Like, it was nowhere near close. The energy behind the series, like, the series Borderlands has been here for a while. Like, people think it's like a game, like they just created this year. Like, it's been here for a while. I want to say at least minimum 5 years, probably more. I want to say more. Don't quote me on that. But it's been here for a while. So, like, no one went to go see it just out of curiosity, because I feel like with Sonic, with the first Sonic, people watched it out of curiosity, and like they dang near they were being mean to the creator, saying, because we saw the first draft, he looked like he was playing in the snow. You know where I'm coming from? And it's not Christmas. But after they fixed it, like, now everybody else looks in line with it. I don't know. I just feel like for 2025, I want to see more movies made on I would love to see Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Okay, you can tell I'm a PlayStation girly. I can't think of anything right now. Mortal Kombat, they tried to make one, but it just turned out being corny, and like, I feel like I still have it on DVD. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I still have it on DVD, and it's still in the plastic collector's item, but I still have that movie, and I don't know if we can go any higher than that, but like, I want to see more. I definitely want to see more movies. I want to see more video games get turned into movies. But be careful, because you know what I really want to see? Street Fighter. Like, I have a couple of actors in my brain who I know would kill a good Chun-Li, a good Ryu and Ken. Like, I know Johnny. You wanna know who I could see playing Johnny Cage? Tom Holland. I can see him doing a good Johnny Cage. Like, I have it in my brain of like who I could see doing each character, but I don't know. Whenever y'all go, it's like y'all have a series, and then like once I get into the movie theater, it turns into trash. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it always ends up turning into trash. So I don't know, but you guys leave your comments below. Thank you guys for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire Haire. Washer is going off. La negra tiene tumbao, tiene tumbao, tiene tumbao. Baby, I don't know what that means. I'm just saying it because I've always grew up with Celia. You didn't know Claire in Spanish is Celia Cruz?